Sigma males are often seen as lone wolves, independent, self-reliant, and emotionally detached. Yet beneath that mysterious exterior lies a paradox that most people fail to understand. While they are known for avoiding unnecessary attachments, they are also some of the most generous and selfless individuals you'll ever meet. They will go out of their way to help others, offering guidance, support, and even protection. But when it comes to trust, that's a different story. So why do Sigma males help everyone but trust no one? Is it caution, experience, or is there something deeper at play? In this video, we're uncovering the hidden truth behind this intriguing mindset and the reasons why a Sigma male's kindness should never be mistaken for blind trust. Let's get into it. 1. They've learned that loyalty is a transaction for most people. Loyalty is one of the most glorified concepts in human relationships, but Sigma males see it for what it really is, a conditional agreement, not a sacred virtue. Most people use the word loyalty freely, swearing allegiance to friends, family, and partners, only to abandon that commitment when circumstances shift. Sigma males have seen this play out too many times to believe in blind devotion. They know that for most, loyalty is nothing more than a trade, something given in exchange for personal benefit. It's not always intentional. Some people don't even realize they treat loyalty as a transaction. They say they'll always be there, but when standing by you no longer serves them, they quietly slip away. A Sigma male doesn't waste energy being bitter about this. He simply acknowledges reality. He understands that most people are loyal only when it's easy, convenient, or profitable. This is why Sigma males help people without expecting anything in return. They don't do favors to earn allies, and they certainly don't invest in relationships based on a false sense of security. If a Sigma hears someone say, "I'll always be there for you," his mind immediately categorizes it as a temporary statement, subject to change. Not because he's cynical, but because experience has shown him how quickly words crumble under pressure. Sigma males know that expecting loyalty is one of the quickest paths to disappointment. They don't make it their currency. Their strength comes from self-reliance, from knowing that even if the entire world walks away, they will stand just as tall. This mindset frees them. It allows them to give without obligation, to help without keeping score. They don't use generosity as leverage, nor do they extend trust carelessly. Because trust, to a Sigma, is not something you hand out. It's something earned through consistency over time. And most people simply don't pass that test. 2. They understand human nature too well to be naive. A Sigma male doesn't just observe people, he studies them. He sees the small contradictions in their words and actions, the subtle shifts in behavior when circumstances change. He's watched people swear loyalty with full conviction, only to turn their backs the moment things become difficult. He's seen betrayals not just as isolated events, but as repeating patterns. People justify their actions with excuses like, "I had no choice," or "I had to put myself first." And while a Sigma doesn't hold this against them, he also refuses to be the fool who expects anything different. Trust to him isn't something you give just because someone seems nice or says the right things. It's something that must be proven slowly over time through actions, not words. Even then, it's given in measured doses. Sigma males understand that people at their core act in self-interest. Even the kindest individuals make choices based on what benefits them in the long run. This isn't a pessimistic worldview. It's realism. A Sigma doesn't assume people are bad. He simply acknowledges that they are unpredictable. And unpredictability is dangerous when it comes to trust. He doesn't fall for charm, flattery, or grand gestures. He doesn't trust a person just because they've been reliable so far. Because the real test isn't how someone acts when things are easy. It's how they behave when the stakes are high. Sigma males have been betrayed not once but repeatedly. And it's rarely the obvious enemies who cause the most damage. It's the ones who seemed different, the ones who swore they would never do what everyone else did, the ones who smiled. 3. They prefer being the giver rather than the receiver. Sigma males despise being in debt, not just financially but emotionally. They have seen how the world operates, how favors often come with invisible strings, how generosity is rarely as selfless as it seems. To a Sigma, accepting help is a dangerous game. The moment they owe someone, they lose a degree of control. They've watched how people use kindness as leverage, how unspoken obligations suddenly turn into emotional traps. One day, it's just a favor. The next, it's a guilt-laced expectation. That's why Sigma males prefer to be the ones who give, rather than the ones who receive. They would rather work twice as hard, struggle in silence, or go without than risk being in someone's debt. Because needing something from the wrong person is the fastest way to lose power over your own life. It's not that Sigma males are ungrateful or incapable of accepting kindness. It's that they understand the unspoken contracts that often come with it. In a world where most people act out of self-interest, true generosity is rare, and they don't have time to figure out whether someone is helping them out of goodwill or because they expect something later. By choosing to be the giver, Sigma males remain in control. They decide when, how, and to whom they offer help. There's no uncertainty, no hidden motives, no unspoken debts. 4. They know people will expose themselves with time. A Sigma male understands that patience isn't just a virtue, it's a strategy. He knows that people rarely reveal their true selves right away. In the beginning, they present carefully constructed versions of themselves, wrapped in charm, flattery, and well-rehearsed words. But to a Sigma, none of that holds weight. He doesn't rush to trust. He doesn't mistake friendliness for loyalty or charisma for character. Instead, he waits, because with enough time, people always reveal who they truly are. This isn't paranoia, it's observation. A liar will eventually trip over their own web of deceit. A manipulator will become too comfortable and let their real intentions slip. A fair-weather friend will disappear the moment loyalty becomes inconvenient. Sigma males don't need to force the truth out of people. They simply watch, listen, and let reality do the work. That's why they're immune to charm. They've seen how easily people can act kind when there's something to gain. The real test isn't how someone behaves when things are easy. It's how they act when there's no benefit to them. Will they still be honest when a lie would be easier? Will they stay loyal when no one is watching? Will they show respect when there's no reward for it? Most people fail this test, which is exactly why Sigma males trust so rarely. They've seen too many people get burned by blind trust, friendships shattered, relationships turned toxic, alliances dissolved in an instant. They refuse to be another cautionary tale. Instead, they wait in the shadows, taking the time to truly see people for who they are before making any decision about trust. 5. They don't want to be the fool who gets played. Sigma males have witnessed too many people fall victim to deception, and they've made a silent vow that will never be them. They've seen how emotions can be weaponized, a well-placed sob story, a carefully timed apology, a fake display of loyalty, just convincing enough to gain someone's trust before turning against them. Sigma males understand that manipulation comes in layers. Some use charm, making you feel special just long enough to lower your guard. Others play the victim, spinning a tale where they're always suffering, always in need of saving. And then there are the information gatherers, the ones who pretend to care, just enough to collect details they'll later use as leverage. Sigma males see through it all. They know the moment they expose their vulnerabilities, they hand someone a weapon that can be used against them, and they'd rather keep their secrets locked away than give anyone that kind of power. But that doesn't mean they lack empathy. On the contrary, they can be some of the most generous people, offering advice, lending a hand, even going out of their way to help. But there's a fine line between giving and exposing oneself, and Sigma males know exactly where that line is. They'll listen to others' problems, but they won't share their own. They'll provide solutions, but they won't ask for help. This isn't about pride, it's about survival. Because the moment someone knows your weak spots, it's only a matter of time before they press on them. They've seen it happen. The friend who confided in the wrong person, only to have their words twisted and used against them. The partner who trusted too easily and got manipulated. The colleague who let their guard down, only to be betrayed when it mattered most. Sigma males refuse to join that list, so they operate with discipline. They analyze every interaction logically, never allowing emotions to cloud their judgment. They give without attachment, help without expecting loyalty, and move on without regret. And when people wonder why a Sigma male never seems to lose in the game of trust, the answer is simple. He never bets more than he can afford to lose. 6. They help because it aligns with their morals, not because they expect anything. Many people assume that Sigma males are cold, detached, or indifferent to the struggles of others. But the truth is far more complex. Sigma males do help others, often without hesitation, but their reasons for doing so are entirely their own. They don't seek praise, recognition, or favors in return, and they certainly don't help to win people over or to feel a sense of belonging. For them, helping is not a strategy, it's a principle. Their actions are guided by an internal moral code, one that remains untouched by societal expectations or emotional manipulation. If they see someone struggling, they'll step in. If they witness an injustice, they'll take action. But it's not because they expect gratitude or loyalty. It's simply because their principles demand it. However, What confuses people is that despite their willingness to help, Sigma males remain emotionally guarded. Both assume that kindness and generosity naturally come with trust and openness. But Sigma males separate the two. They'll extend a hand, but that doesn't mean they'll let you into their inner world. They may give valuable guidance, yet that doesn't mean they see you as a close friend. Unlike most, Sigma males understand that the moment you start expecting something in return for your kindness, it ceases to be selfless. It becomes a transaction. And they don't do transactions when it comes to morality. They believe in doing the right thing for its own sake, not as a means to an end. This is why many people misinterpret them. Some assume their distance means their help comes with hidden motives, while others mistake their generosity as an invitation to get close only to find themselves blocked by an invisible wall. But Sigma males don't operate on blind trust. They've seen too many people use emotions as weapons, playing the victim, exploiting guilt, or faking concern to get what they want. They refuse to fall for such manipulation. 7. Trust is not given freely, it's a risk they refuse to take. Sigma males may be generous in offering help, but when it comes to trust, they are far more guarded. Experience has taught them that trust is one of the most dangerous forms of vulnerability. It can be weaponized, manipulated, and used against them at any moment. They've seen firsthand how people mask their true intentions, using guilt, deception, and even false loyalty to serve their own agendas. Because of this, Sigma males approach trust with extreme caution. They are not bitter or paranoid, just profoundly aware of human nature. They recognize that many people, whether consciously or subconsciously, operate with a degree of self-interest. Betrayal isn't just something that happens in stories or history books. It plays out in friendships, business relationships, and even family dynamics. When money, power, or convenience come into play, even the strongest bonds can fracture. To a Sigma, trust is more than just a feeling. It's a calculated decision, one that carries significant risk. That's why they rarely place blind faith in anyone. Instead, they rely on careful observation, consistency, and proven actions before they allow someone into their inner circle. Even then, they maintain an unshakable sense of independence, never becoming so attached that a betrayal could destroy them. 8. Helping is a choice, not a weakness. A common mistake people make is assuming that kindness equals weakness. Many believe that those who are willing to help must also be easy to manipulate. But Sigma males defy this assumption completely. They may extend a hand, but they do not extend blind trust. They may offer assistance, but they never grant anyone the ability to control them. What sets Sigmas apart is their ability to give without creating dependency. They understand that dependence leads to obligation, and obligation is just another way for people to exert control. Sigmas will help when they choose to, not because they are expected to, not because they feel pressured, and certainly not because they are being guilt-tripped into it. This mindset isn't about paranoia, it's about strategy. Sigmas have spent their lives studying the patterns of human behavior. They've observed how friendships shift when power dynamics change, how businesses crumble when loyalty is misplaced, and how even family ties can be tested when personal gain is at stake. They see the world for what it is, not for what they wish it to be. In an ideal world, trust would be pure and unshakable. But Sigma males know that reality is far more complicated. Some people are genuine, but many have hidden motives even if they don't openly acknowledge them. Sigmas don't hold resentment toward this fact, they simply refuse to be blind to it. That's why they help, but they don't expect anything in return. They give, but they never allow themselves to be used. They would rather be the ones in control of their own lives than place their fate in the hands of others. Because at the end of the day, trust is not something they give freely. It's something that must be earned.